Hey, welcome to another Storage Tech video. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you the differences between the old bulk hole and the new bulk hole. There are a few major differences you can see behind me, like that one's a lot wider and a lot taller than this one, but let's get into it in a little bit more detail. Okay, so as I mentioned in the intro, there are a few differences between these that are pretty noticeable. The first one being how wide they are. This one's very wide compared to this one. I prefer this one a lot more. Another slight difference is the actual box display. I noticed after testing for a while the fact this pushes a block into this middle space here, and this one does too, that you can't activate both at the same time. You'll never do that, but it's just an inconvenience that as like, if for whatever reason this slice was requesting an item and this one at the exact same time, it wouldn't work. Like I said, that'll never happen. The chances of that are incredibly low, but I didn't want to take that chance. Another slight difference is hopper locking and the overflow system, so I'm going to show you over here. This hopper isn't locked, and that hopper isn't locked, and the overflow is a lot simpler here. On this one, however, that hopper is locked, and that one down there too. Now the overflow is a little bit more complicated, but it's reliable. It really doesn't look like it should be, but it just rolls off that stair onto the blue ice and into the water stream that would be here. The box loaders on the top are the exact same for both. Yeah, exactly the same. But the box displays for this one now use water and stairs to activate that observer, so you can activate both at the same time. Just to show you it works, there you go. There isn't a new box in there, that's why it didn't get dispensed. So, another great thing about that new one is actually how simple the new requesting is now. So over here, I have a shulker box with blaze rods in it, as you can see. This slice here is the longest possible time we can have for a request. So from input to when it receives the box, this will be the longest amount of time it takes to receive the box. So I'm going to put the old version time on the screen now, and then if I input the code for that box, you'll notice, I'm just going to wait here to pick it up, that we get it that fast. Again, I'll put a time on the screen compared to that one, and I'll put the time difference. For the old one, because it was more complete than just storage slices, I'm going to time it from the second the box goes into the little key gen that was over here to the second it comes to this end slice here. So it's very fair as could be, really. And I'll tell you the difference on the screen, obviously. Now, I am going to answer a few questions I've got on Discord and some other places too, I can't really remember. One of the major ones being, how do you load everything? Because if you've got a farm way over here, for an example, if I was to have a farm over here, how do I load the storage? Well, I've made a little rule for myself, and I'll put a little diagram on the screen to help show everything I'm talking about. So the 3x3 chunks in the middle are what are going to be constantly loaded. So no matter where I AFK, it's going to be constantly loaded. And the way that's going to work is the little green chunks are the furthest away from the storage I can AFK. So I can AFK anywhere in those chunks, but as soon as I step out of that, some part of that 3x3 is going to be unloaded. And that's not good, because I plan to have the empty box storage, all the requesting logic, and everything in that 3x3 space. That doesn't mean the whole storage, that just means mainly bulk and the empty box storage, and obviously all the logic for the requesting. There is a little bit of space after those green chunks, and that's just what would be loaded anyway. So I plan to have really laggy farms as far away from the storage as I possibly can. So that would be these chunks highlighted in red right now. Mainly because as long as I AFK in this green chunk here that again is highlighted in red, that is the only chunk, if I stand in, that would load those chunks for the laggy farms. So it's as lag friendly as I can possibly make it. And that's how that would work. Another thing I got was how would, for an example, branches work. So I'm going to get a few coloured blocks to hopefully demonstrate this a little bit better. Okay, so if I was to have, for an example, a main line going down here, and then I have a little branch off like this, and then one here. How does the system know to send a box there instead of just continuing it on or just straight down this yellow line? So, because we're using binary now, this is a lot simpler. So, we'd have normal things, intersections going off here. So this would be, for example, branch 1, so we use code 1. Now, it's not as simple as just using 2 for this one. It's not that simple, because what would happen if I have, for an example, another branch over here? Surely that would use code 2. So the way I'm going to do it is every branch is going to have a group of codes that relate to this little intersection here. So if I was to have something like this, so I've got 4 there, so that would be 4 codes. So let's say this one's my super smelter, that uses 3 codes, that'd be 1, 2, 3 for an example, then 4, 5, 6, you get the idea. So that would mean for every branch on there, it would, for an example, use that group of codes there would all make this intersection trigger to make it go down here. If I haven't explained that well, I'm going to have another video soon of everything linked up, the whole requesting done. And hopefully I can explain it there, so it's not just coloured blocks on the floor. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say for this video. Again, another fairly short one. It's a little bit longer than I wanted, but another fairly short one. But I'll be seeing you for the next video where requesting for my storage will be done, and we can move on to chest hauls and inputs and outputs and overflow and everything. So I'll be seeing you then. Bye bye.